child support altogether is a scam because all you really have to do is require the man to pay. You know, like for example, if I'm about to sue Tan, and they're going to say, okay, what all did Tan do, and what do you have proof of that Tan owes you? And they're going to say, well, I pay this, I pay that, I pay this, I pay that, and I pay that. And she owes this because she just ran out on the obligations or whatever, right?
Child support. It is the major thing. Matter of fact, I think I've heard child support being mentioned like 1,000 times this week, and we're just adding on to it. Are y'all excited to talk about child support?
I don't think nobody ever.
Nobody's excited to talk about child support, but
I mean, according to y'all, women, use child support like that's a come up for women. So at least the women, right, should be excited about child support. I don't get
the women are excited about child support, yeah.
Oh, whatever. So the first question we're going to ask tonight is, why do you think child support has such a bad name? When we talk about child support, especially with the guys, there's always this, like, they get so upset and just like, one of the first, I'm taking it back to the week before last when we talked about spousal support. And we were talking about marriage. For whatever reason, people kept throwing up child support as if you had to be married to get child support, which is not at all the case. So I was like, you know what? Let's talk about child support. Since it's on everybody's mind. So again, the question is, why do you think child support gets such a bad name?
Well, it's two reasons, in my opinion. One is unregulated, and two, women are children. So it's like giving a child some money, and they're just going to run around and do dumb stuff with the money, and it's not going to be used for what it's supposed to be used for. So now you got the child not getting what they need, but she got some new nails and eyelashes and a new wig, and we, as a person, not me, but men, as the person paying the child support, we can't do nothing about the stupid stuff that she does with the money that we just gave her that was actually for the child. But it's for the big child, not the little child.
Yeah, I think you made a good point when you said unregulated. It's basically an arbitrary number between, like, each state has their own set amount based off of a man's or the non-custodial parent's income. So I think the bad rap comes from broke people or people of less means having even less means because the court has decided that you make $33,000 a year and they're going to take, I don't really know the number, but let's call it, they're going to take a third.
20% is usually.
So 20, like, that's huge.
In New York is
huge for somebody that doesn't have money. That they were struggling prior to the child support, which means they shouldn't have had damn kids in the first place.
That's a good point. I was going to ask, because we're talking about the non-custodial parent, and 20% is a lot. How much would you say the non-custodial parent contributes during the, I was going to say marriage, but we'll say relationship to cover all bases?
Can you elaborate a little bit more? What do you mean?
Sure. He said 20%. That's a lot. So my question is, how much does the non-custodial parent contribute, would you say, just on average, during the relationship towards the child?
Like time or just money?
Yeah, because I'm a father, so I don't really know the difference between, because 20% of money, 20% of what? Effort, you know what I'm saying? Time is a lot.
So everything, since we're talking about child support, everything that child support calculates, right? It calculates shelter for the child. It calculates clothing, activities like
medical,
insurance, whether it's medical, dental, vision, whatever insurance might entail. I'm talking about everything that the law includes for child support. How much would you say is contributed during the relationship towards quote unquote child support? Since 20% is a lot, my question is, how much would you say is contributed towards the child during the relationship?
Whatever is necessary. I mean, I don't know if you can really even put a number on it. It just really depends. I mean, if the kid needs diapers, you go out and get diapers. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily a dollar amount, which is why I think that the 20%, the 17%, I was looking a little bit, the 16%, I think is pretty arbitrary. And it's each state. It's insane to me.
So if we say 20% is a lot, wouldn't we have something to measure it by? If we're saying it's a lot, that would mean, assuming that one is contributing to the child support, we have something to compare it to, right? If 20% is a lot, what should be the norm?
Well, child support altogether, it's stupid. It's meant for the government to get it doesn't pay the woman, it pays the government.
Yep.
Like it's I forgot what the actual law is, but I could play it if y'all want me to play it. But because I've talked about this before, child support altogether is a scam, because all you really have to do is require the man to pay. You know, like for example, if I'm about to sue Tan, and they're going to say, okay, what all did Tan do, and what do you have proof of that Tan owes you? And they're going to say, well, I pay this, I pay that, I pay this, I pay that, and I pay that. And she owes this because she just ran out on the obligations or whatever, right? So they're going to break down how much all these bills are, and then they're going to say, okay, we're going to award you a certain amount of money through what the proof of what you owe or your obligation is versus them. So that's actually what child support is supposed to be. You take the person to court and say, these are all my bills, these are all the obligations, this is what all needs to be done, and the other person pays a percentage of everything that is outlined. Name anything in court that isn't like that. That's the reason why I say child support is stupid and idiotic and it's a scam, because that's the only time you can go to court without having to give an outline of what all you got to pay. So that's the problem, because if you were to do that, guess what? It wouldn't be a problem. But it's not like that, because at the end of the day, the woman just gets a check or something on her card, and it's just a part of her income, you know? And the man never has any understanding or control over where it goes. And that's just not the way life's supposed to work. And nobody knows, the typical person, because I know the typical person doesn't know how much money the government makes off of the transaction of it, the processing fees, things like that. So that's another thing. So that's why I say the whole child support system is a scam. I've never paid child support, never will, but because I take care of my kids. So I'm not a person angry about child support. Ain't nobody ever put me on no damn child support. Nobody ever will. But that's just my opinion on the scam of child support.
So
go ahead, Marcus.
So I think that child support come off as a punishment, right? It's usually at the end of a relationship. If you were married and they separate, bam, you get hit with the child support. Or if you had sex with somebody and she saved the condom and turkey basted herself, bam, you get child support. It's always a punishment, and it doesn't seem to specifically just be to the benefit of the child, to the point it's become a hustle for some people. Like, ain't no way. Like I got two little babies under 2, right? They don't need $100,000 worth of nothing, not a thing. Like they got everything. She just poured chocolate milk in a 65-inch. Still ain't got to $100,000 worth of stuff in a month that this child needs.
So most people aren't getting 200,000. So I wanted us to stick to the real numbers first, because our life, there's a tally that went along with that, and we'll explain that in a second. But we're talking about in general, the regular person, like the regular man.
Okay, so the with the regular person, I've this is almost, well, this is a rare extreme in the opposite direction, but it just feels as though it's not adequate for how people would like to contribute to the children, and to be forced to do something as a man feels away, and it also comes off as a punishment.